But it's a wonderful looking Friday. Welcome to the Sportsline Podcast here on CHCH. I'm Bubba O'Neil. Well, as Kenny Loggins sang in his huge hit from 1979, this is it. Following 272 regular season games in the National Football League with 32 teams and just 14 playing a dozen more, we're down to the big mama or the big papa. Call the Super Bowl, and as we have down the stretch, we bring in our very best to break it down. Simoni, 21 in the house for the final time. And I got to give you props. You've been very accurate with your selections, very analytical. You haven't rubbed it into me too bad because you are leading this contest. I give you respect for that, but you've been on point, and great to have you back here, first of all.
Man, it's an honor to be here with my dog, Bubba, man, of course. I'm excited about this football, man. Best in the AFC versus the best in the NFC.
And, you know, it's that big celebration of this. I mean, you've played in Grey Cup games that are similar in this situation where there is so much preparation. Mm-hmm. I mean, let me ask you this first of all: when you get to this time of the year, is there anything to learn? I mean, even though you might not have played your opponent, how much is the whole week film study? How much? And of course, in the NFL, it's 2-week break as opposed to the 1 week in the CFL. But what's that like in that championship situation?
You try to keep everything as normal as possible. You don't put too much on it, and you don't put less on it neither. You just do the exact same things you was doing all football season. That's what you try to do. You know, there's loud noises and distractions, but it's only a distraction if you let it be a distraction. So like Kansas City, they're professional. Philadelphia, they're professional. They've both been to the Super Bowls in the past 5 years anyway, so they're ready for this game. So you keep everything as normal as possible, Bubba.
I will bring this back up. I don't know. Would there be a difference, do you think, because of the 1 week, 2 week Canadian Football League and the NFL thing? If you had to extend it to 2 weeks in the CFL, would that be an issue, do you think?
That would be an issue, and that's a better question because it's like 1 week you can keep everything normal because that's normal, but now you get in 2 weeks, so it's like coaches, you're like, how many days we going to give them off? How many days we going to practice? Are we going to use some days to practice more? Are we going to give them the break and then just get back in the week? Who do we need in the facility to make sure they're getting healthy and better? Who do we rest? So it's more times to think about things, and it's always don't overthink things and just keep it simple.
We, the media, like to make storylines, right? We like to, especially in a big game like this. I mean, you need beef. You need some action to talk about. And there has been some Super Bowls over the last little while that just didn't really have any bite. There wasn't any storylines. But with Kansas City being there is a sort of feeling, not them again. Not them again. And we're getting a lot of Patrick Mahomes being somewhat painted as a villain. And he was asked that question at the Super Bowl Media Day, and he just said, look, if it means me winning another Super Bowl, I'll gladly be, the arch rival to Batman or whatever the kind of thing is. Like, I mean, you in your time sometimes kind of had that label as the guy we want to go after. What's that like?
It's amazing because at the end of the day, everybody wants to play at the highest level, and everybody likes the come-up story. But when you stay up story, it gets different for people. It's like, man, give me a turn. You know what I mean? And it's not that people are just not appreciating greatness. It's the same thing that's going on with LeBron. LeBron's 40 years old, dropping 40 triple doubles. And then Patrick Mahomes, he has the opportunity to break a record. And me, in my opinion, I would love to see him do that because that's never been done. And I love greatness, and I love watching the great ones chase greatness because they still have to go through this ebbs and flows of people liking them, not liking them. But at the end of the day, you're here to do one thing, win football games and be the absolute best.
You just walked right into something that I think that needs to be discussed. I mean, you look at the great, we got a board here to show the great teams. There have been 9 teams in history, actually 8 teams under 9 situations that have all gotten to a Super Bowl in back-to-back situations. We're talking about great teams like the Packers in the beginning. The run-oriented Don Shula Dolphins, the Steelers, and those wonderful games, teams from the 70s. And you see the 49ers in the beginning of the Montana years as well, too. Look at the Cowboys. The Cowboys, the Bills and the Cowboys. Broncos, John Elway, end of his career. The Patriots. Of course, we all know about the Patriots, but it's those Chiefs right now that have an opportunity to be the first team in National Football League history to win 3 straight Super Bowls.
Come on, Bubba.
What kind of does that carry pressure?
it doesn't carry pressure. It carries motivation. When you're one of the best at what you do, anything you can do to motivate the players to continue to play at a high level and not get in coast mode is perfect. And that's why this is perfect, because they're chasing not just the Super Bowl ring, which they got last year and the year before that. They're chasing something that's never been done. Be the only team in the whole world to get back-to-back Super Bowl championship. And when you're chasing that, you're extra motivated because you want to go break history. You want to make history. You want to say, you know what, kids, there was a lot of people that played football in my day, but nobody's ever done this.
Yeah, that's a special thing.
Yeah.
Let's go back to what happened last night at the NFL Awards. I guess the big award that everyone was talking about. And at times it was heated between the fans, from Baltimore, the Ravens, the Buffalo Bills fans, Bills Mafia kind of going toe-to-toe on who the NFL MVP was. I think Saquon Barkley, we always knew was going to be kind of third.
Yeah.
Here's how the situation statistically broke down between Josh Allen, the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, and Lamar Jackson, the two-time MVP for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen wins. And some could say statistically that Lamar had a better record.
Yeah.
Some would say Josh had a more of a breakthrough season, winning the 13 games, and that if he was not part of the offense, the Bills would go nowhere. Where some people would argue Lamar Jackson had King Henry in his backfield, that kind of helped him out, maybe get more statistics than Josh did. Your thought, did they get the right guy?
Bubba, I'm a man of my word. I said whoever wins the Buffalo Ravens game is the MVP. Congratulations, Josh Allen, on the MVP. You know what I'm saying? Because I said that playoff game, I was like, the MVP will win this game, and the MVP won the game.
Yeah,
so congratulations, Josh Allen. Like, Lamar had a spectacular regular season. His numbers was drastically better, but Josh Allen was the engine on Buffalo. He's the one that made Buffalo move, go. And as you see in the both of the playoff games, even the playoff game they lost, he was still the engine. He was the most valuable player. And if it was not for him and just Josh Allen, if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't be there.
Plain and simple.
Most valuable player. That's what it means.
Let's see how we've gotten to the Super Bowl. And as I said, this long trek of the NFL playoffs through the wild card, the divisional, up to the championship games. In the NFC Championship, the Philadelphia Eagles put I thought a second-half beatdown on the Washington Commanders. 55-23 was the score. You had the pick nailed down, taking that 8-5 lead. Were you impressed with what Philadelphia did?
Yeah, I was talking to Hannah before the game, and I'm like, yo, Philadelphia might blow them out. I was talking to Sopik. I was like, Philadelphia might blow them out because when you go in, when you're the hot boys on the block, people get tired of hearing about the hot boys on the block. And when you live in D.C., and now you're playing a team in Philadelphia, now it's even louder. So it's getting fed into it more. So it's like, man, yeah, I see you, Daniels, but it's time to take a seat. Come get this whooping. And you know, the when I really knew what was going to happen in that game, Bubba, is when Washington came out, and I think they had like a 17-play drive, right? They went for it twice on fourth down, and they had another opportunity to go for fourth down to score the touchdown, and they kicked the field goal. I was like, okay, they don't want it like they think they want it. They still timid, you know?
Why?
Because you're setting the precedence on the first drive of the game. You go for it on fourth down already in the red zone, so you could get 3 there, but you go for it saying you want a touchdown. Another chance you get to kick 3, you go for it saying you want the touchdown. And then you get another opportunity, and then you kick the field goal. That's telling people, I want it, but I don't want it bad enough. Give me that.
Well, and the thing that was surprising to me, they had gone through the entire playoffs without a turnover. And in that game, 3 interceptions, or 3 fumbles, and an interception thrown by the NFL Rookie of the Year in Jalen Daniels. Was that a product of just the Philadelphia defense or the environment?
It's the environment. It's the toughness, too. Like, Philadelphia is a different crowd. Like, you feel that, you know? Like, as much as you just want to go out there and play football, Philadelphia gives you that crowd where it's like, and then those guys were attacking. I'm talking about attacking the football because it's like, you watch when you're a football player and you're in the playoffs, you're watching everything that's going on and you're paying attention to see how good teams lost and how bad teams won. You know what I mean? So when you're watching the games like the Ravens versus, where you're like, how the Ravens lose? Turnovers, getting the ball out. And every time Philadelphia was punching at the ball, getting on the ball, I think I seen 2 good, clean punch outs. So it's one of those, it was just the environment was too much for the rookie in them. Like they thought they could just keep coasting and having fun, coming out the doom, feeling nice. Nah, get back in the cold.
That was a great point about the turnovers, because they weren't like, "Ooh, I dropped the ball." They were actually forced fumbles, takeaways,
yes,
true takeaways, and they did seem a little shell shocked, considering they were the road team in the wild card, they were the road team in the divisional, and they got to this championship, and it kind of looked like this is as far as you guys are going to go. With that said, good young team,
great young team.
They could cause some problems.
Great
soon.
Young team. Yeah. I think they're going to be an amazing team. But it's the same thing. It's like when you're climbing the hill, you don't want to get fed candy, because that's going to slow you down. And the whole time, everybody just feeding Washington candy, feeding them candy. So and that tends to get in the players' heads sometimes. And it's like, oh, maybe we can just walk right by these guys, not knowing these guys is tired of hearing about you and they're ready to take your candy away.
So as the Eagles advance to their 3rd Super Bowl in their history, or change at the second and third in 3 years, you have the team like the Kansas City Chiefs, who are the Buffalo Bills, were trying to stop from getting there for the 3rd consecutive season. Bills come up short, 32-29 the final, in just a outstanding game. I thought that went basically right down to the final minutes of the game, and I think we kind of expected this to be close. I had the Bills, had to ride with my team, and you picked the Chiefs for the reasons that you explained, but you did come through with the pick.
Yeah, especially. Like, I knew this was one of those games, it was going to be a close game. Everybody knows these teams tend to play close, and if it's a close game, I had the Chiefs winning. And the only way the Chiefs can lose these games is if they have like a first half lapse and stuff. But they came out and they was competing. That was a competitive football game. Both teams was firing back and forth. You can say what you want about the officials, but your job is to win the football game. It doesn't matter what's going on in the football field. If you feel the calls don't go your way, that's just life, because football is an imperfect game and humans are imperfect human beings. They're not going to get everything right, and that's just the way it is, and you understand that. So as a football player, you need to win where you know that you can win, and that's in the turnover ratio. Like, you can control that stuff. Everything that you can control, you got control. Call them controllable factors. And I feel like Buffalo played the best game. That was their best game.
They did play well. Yeah. It just wasn't good enough. That's the crazy thing. Yeah. And it's crazy to me that in the 9 last matchups between the Bills and the Chiefs, here's your score aggregate: 245 to 240.
Yeah.
That's the way these guys play, and it's just that close. The unfortunate things, if you're part of Bills Mafia, is that a lot of that 240 points is in the regular season, and in the playoffs, it's the Chiefs.
Are you telling me that quarterback for Buffalo is Lamar Jackson in the playoffs?
I don't.
Are you telling me the MVP?
But it's funny, because with Baltimore, it's different teams that they lose to.
Yeah.
The Bills keep dropping to the same team.
Exactly.
And we've seen it now in AFC championships, or at least in AFC playoff situations, in their own building and on the road at Arrowhead. So at some point, I think the Bills are going to have to get over the hump. I mean, because this team is, I think, going to be better next year. But with the Chiefs,
and so is everybody else.
And so is that. Great point.
That's the game. Like, everybody else's job, as like everybody that has a job in the building, is to get the team better. And the Chiefs find ways to get better all the time. Bubba, you remember I think it was a couple weeks ago when you won that bet, Ravens versus Buffalo, and you was like, just think about it. Josh Allen gets the ball, and he has about a minute left on the clock. What do you think Josh Allen was going to do? And I was like, was looking a little shaky, Bubba. And sure enough, he had the exact. I was wanted to call you on the drive. I was like, Bubba, we about to see what he gonna do.
But come on, you have to admit, and you're a defensive guy too. And I'm sure you've played for some great DCs. But boy, playing for Spags, I think you would really enjoy. Who on earth calls a left corner blitz on 4th and 5? It ended up being the play that the Bills were running, where that sort of I don't even want to call it a rollout. It's kind of a fade out for Josh Allen. But it's right into that traffic. Who would have called that?
Spagnola and somebody that's been scouting Josh Allen all game, because they was running zero pressures, and what Josh Allen loves to do is get to his throwing side and make a play because he's super accurate on the run, and everybody knows that. So the play before they called zero, that means they blitzed everybody, guys. So Josh Allen knows that his escape route is this way, and he might have to beat a defensive end because somebody's coming free. So his eyes are that way. So what they did was they showed zero again, bailed out, sent the corner blitz. I was like, let's play football, baby. Yeah. That was like, it was just one of those things where it's like, when you see them bail out, now you got to look. You just, because your offensive coordinator has to tell you, watch the corner blitz, because all the football brains are like, bro, you got to send something from that corner and get him off his track, because we've been sending zero all day and he been getting to the outside. So we need something special. So his offensive coordinator is supposed to be in his ear saying, watch outside, watch outside.
They hadn't blitzed from the corner all game long.
Hey, and that's the chess match between coordinators as well, too. So it's like, you always have to be thinking football as a coordinator, and it's not necessarily what play am I going to call, or you have to warn your stars about what could possibly happen to them.
With that said, Dalton Kincaid. What could have been?
Bubba, do you think that Josh Allen meant to throw the ball to him, or did he just throw it up?
Had it been right in his hands.
Bubba, I think it's crazy that people actually thought like he seen him and he threw it right to him.
Really? You don't think that?
Huh? Not with the blitz, Bubba. The boy seen color and seen somebody wearing
it almost happened
and just threw it up.
It almost happened. You saw it. It could have happened.
It could have happened.
Should have happened. I think he should have caught it.
I think on a day like that, in a frozen game like that, and running to the ball, nerves high as heck, changing direction, ain't no way that guy gonna do that.
Yeah.
Maybe a star like Steven Diggs would have caught it.
Yeah.
You Diggs. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, Diggs is sitting home with his busted up legs. So.
For real.
So here we go. We got a Super Bowl matchup. Again, second time in 3 years that these two teams will meet. They know a little bit about each other, though they are obviously in different conferences. Let's start with your Eagles, and a team that I thought got better as the season got along.
Yeah.
Why will the Eagles win the Super Bowl?
Oh, man. Fast start, first of all. Mm-hmm. The Eagles have to get off to a fast start in this game, because the Eagles are one of those teams where, the Chiefs are one of those teams where they tend to normally have slow starts. And if you can get up on the Chiefs and you know they're going to have that halftime surge because they're extremely well coached, and then use Saquon Barkley to run the clock out a little bit and get like a 2-touchdown lead in the first half, it has to have the fast start to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Because if you've seen multiple times, if it's a close game, the Chiefs find a way to pull it out, Bubba.
We always talk about the battle on the line of scrimmage, and you believe that the defensive line will play a big factor in this contest. Of
course. Let's be honest. That's the reason the Eagles are here right now. They rush forward and they put pressure on the quarterback. The Eagles have one of the best pass defenses. Not just because they have an amazing rookie cornerback over there, Slayton, Blankenship, Dejan. They have a bunch of players, but this defensive line plays great continuity football with the back end. I know they in the huddle saying, "Hey, look, y'all just cover for a little bit. We gonna get to that quarterback," and it makes the defensive backs extremely confident. So if the Philadelphia Eagles D line play like they play, it's going to be tough. I love Carter.
Here's an interesting situation out of that. Mm-hmm. As a defensive lineman, even your linebacking core, how do you control uncalled runs by Patrick Mahomes? when he decides to. I'm just like it's the pass. There was a pass play. It breaks down, and he's going to go. That seems to be something that he is so excellent at doing. This sort of unscheduled runs.
Yeah, and that's why the Philadelphia Eagles have the perfect players. They got this guy named Nolan Smith is a problem. He's really an outside linebacker, but he's so athletic and gets off the ball so much that he can play defensive end as well. And he's number 3, and he's good. And that, with guys like that, you rush to the level of the quarterback. When I say rush to the level of the quarterback, you rush to where the quarterback is. You don't run past the quarterback to create lanes for him to run through. So he'll kind of be rushing, but he won't be rushing to win. He'll be rushing to get off and make the play. And the same thing with Sweat on the other side. These guys can fall off and come and make plays. And anything that you could ask any offensive coordinator, they don't want their quarterback getting hit by 275-pound defensive ends, you know. So I think these defensive ends are going to be key in running them down and keeping them in the pocket. They'll let the inside guys go win and make a play and tell your fast outside guys rush to the level of the quarterback and make sure he don't get out of there. And they got 2 pros doing that.
You know, I do the Tiger Cats broadcast, and I've had a couple of partners in Andy Fan 2s, and he started this. When we do the Car Star 3 Keys to Victory.
Yeah.
And no matter who the Ticats are playing, his number 3 is exactly what you put number 3, win the turnover ratio.
Oh, yeah. Come on, man. That's elementary school football. Normally, you can just like turn on the look at the stat sheet, look at the turnover ratio, and you can see who's going to win the game. It's very rare where a team does not win the turnover ratio and loses the game, you know. So that's just something that the Eagles have to do. They have to create turnovers. They got to take possessions away from Pat Mahomes. They got to start off fast on Pat Mahomes, and they got to get that ball out. And Pat Mahomes is a superstar, so he tries to make superstar plays. And I love this secondary from Philadelphia to get at least an interception, big key interception this game.
Your X-factor player is kind of an obvious one, but I ask you Jalen Hurts. And when I thought about it, because, you know, generally when you think of X-factors, we think of some guy we've never heard of before. But I think you're kind of on point here with Jalen Hurts right now, because I just don't know about him. Like, I want to believe that he's really good or elite.
Yeah.
I think he's very good, but it's an opportunity to prove himself. We'll have a look at his playoff statistics as well, too. Your thoughts on Jalen Hurts and why he's your X-factor?
Jalen Hurts is the X factor because the last Super Bowl I was watching, Bubba, if Saquon was on that team, they beat the Chiefs by a mile. Jalen Hurts had one of the best games when I was watching that game in the Super Bowl. And the thing about it is he's a good quarterback. He's accurate. His completions, you can win with that. And the thing is with Jalen Hurts, he just has to play great football. If he has a game like gets the ball out, I'm saying 20 throws for Jalen Hurts, and if he's going if he's hitting 16, I'm happy. Because I know that Saquon can close the game out, and I know they can have a fast start. In the first half, Jalen Hurts needs to not turn the ball over. He needs to find his guys, go through his reads, but find his reads faster because he's usually a little slower on his reads. But if he can get the ball out quick, drive the ball, and start the game off fast, he's the guy that's going to win this game.
Does his completions have to be – like, what kind of quarterback does he have to be? And I hate using this word, but it's what we use in football.
Yeah.
Is he in a more of a game manager mode?
Yeah.
Or is he the kind of guy that's going to hit those intermediate to long routes that can deliver the knockout punch? What does he have to be?
So right now he's a game manager, and the only reason I call him a game manager is because their number one guy on offense is Saquon Barkley, and anytime that the offense runs through another player or a running back, you're usually the number 2. So he has to manage the game because he's giving the ball to Saquon. But he's a player that can make plays. That's why if I'm the head coach, I'm saying, look, I'm talking to my offensive coordinator. I'm like, first half, see how great Jalen Hurts wants to be. Give him the opportunity to make all the plays. Second half, we're running the offense through Saquon.
Let's go over to the AFC side of things and the Kansas City Chiefs. Boy, I don't know what you can say about this team. And we kind of talk about dynasties in sports. And I don't even know if they need to win this game to all of a sudden call themselves a dynasty. But I think if you win 3 straight Super Bowls and become the first team to ever do it, you are in that category of something that has never been done before. And they are automatically into the Patriots and the Packers and the Steelers as the greatest teams of all time in their era.
Yep.
Here are the reasons why you believe the Chiefs will win. Again, kind of an obvious selection in Patrick Mahomes. Again, tell me why he has to be a difference maker.
Because he's the leader. He's the one that everybody is looking at. Not just everybody from the other team is looking at Patrick Mahomes because they want to see how great he's going to be or how he's going to lead the team, what kind of plays we got to stop. But his team looks at him for that leadership. That's the thing that I love about Patrick Mahomes. He's one of those guys where he's like, if he throws an interception, he's still up. Like, let's go. Because he has that confidence from the boys because he already won them 2 champions. And he's one of those guys that everything can flow through him. So, like, the guys looking at Pat, they're like, what's Pat doing? And they see him happy and motivated. Those guys are happy and motivated. That's why they never have any quit in them. He is the engine, the green light on the team, undisputed leader. And that's just like, we need Patrick Mahomes to be Patrick Mahomes.
Look at his playoff
his numbers are crazy, guys. Look at his completion ratio, 67.6. Let's just give him 70%. Let's go record, Bubba, 17-3. Let's talk about interceptions. He has 43 touchdowns to 8 interceptions.
That's a great ratio.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, people don't even do that in the season.
Most don't.
You know what I mean? And the crazy thing is, it's not like he's not getting hit neither. Guys are trying to we're going to go get this guy. He's been sacked 40 times, Bubba. And look, he gets up and still wins games, 17 games. You see 40 sacks, 17 games. And Bubba, what you said earlier, we're worried about how the Philadelphia, the unexpected runs. He's good for that too. Yeah. 580 yards on the ground with 7 touchdowns. Woo!
With that said,
yes, sir,
he has had the finger pointed at him for being this kind of taking advantage of what the referees are going to give him when it comes to running the football and trying to gain as many yards as he can without stepping out of bounds instead of maybe stepping out of bounds. You were a player that would I'm sure, because you were playing in that outside linebacker position.
He's a hard tackle.
Yeah, you would have to take an angle on him. And a lot of people don't like him or are actually upset with him because he kind of stretches the rules a bit.
Yeah, with guys like that, when you get a chance to hit him, you got to hit him because he's playing with it. And there's nothing wrong with playing with it, especially because football, everybody thinks football is physical. It's a lot of it's mental too. You go into the game, all right, this is what's going to be hard for me today as a professional football player. I'm playing Patrick Mahomes that gets all the calls, and sometimes he acts like he's about to run out of bounds and then turns back up, and then sometimes he acts like he's about to slide and then keeps going. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that would be something hard for me as a professional football player. So going into the game, I already know that. So as I said earlier, with those 2 defensive ends, they're coming from the backside, because normally everybody's like, oh, we'll put a spy in front of them. Let's be honest. Most middle linebackers can't tackle Patrick Mahomes in open space. All of the pursuit's going to have to come from the backside, from them 2 defensive ends. And when they come from backside, they got to try to get the ball out. But I don't think there's nothing wrong with what he does because it's still in the rules and you understand that as a professional. Going into a game, you don't want to just be like, I don't got nothing to worry about. Everybody got to have something to worry about, Bubba.
Yep, for sure.
So there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think anything's wrong with that. If you don't like it, you know what you got to do. Hit them when it's legal.
When the Patriots were in their heyday and winning Super Bowls, and then when Tom Brady departed for Tampa Bay, the biggest question that was in the media, and really, I don't think there's an answer to this because I think it's a question that still gets asked today. And I think if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, this question will come up. What is more important, the head coach or the quarterback? And you've put, at least from what I feel and gather, you have Andy Reid in the Hall of Fame long time ago.
Oh, I love Andy Reid. Andy Reid is one of those guys that made the team who the team is, because Andy Reid's a player coach. He lets the players be the players, but he has enough respect to guide the players to be great. And so the great players are going to be Hall of Fame players. The good players are going to be great players, just being in that atmosphere and the way he runs it. I got the opportunity to do a training camp with Andy Reid, and it's really like he puts the emphasis in the players that do the great things, like on time, practice hard. He puts the emphasis on them, and then he directs it and leads like that. And he's one of those coaches where it's like, Pat Mahomes is extremely lucky to go into that kind of environment because I've seen coaches mess up great players as well too.
Really?
You know, as far as like a lot of guys are confidence too. So, you know, you always want to keep your great players that you think are going to be great. You got to keep their confidence high, you know, and sometimes coaches can't. Their ego gets them and they take it away from them. Like, you're not doing something right. And I feel like Pat just landed in a perfect spot because it's like Pat learned the game so much from Andy Reid now. He has it. As a coach's job, your job is to give your best players the wheels and how to drive the car and what to do to be successful. And like you can let them go and you don't got to do too much. You can just let it flow throughout the team. I say that about Coach O all the time. He's one of those guys. He's like, yo, this is how like this, and like, you know, you can be yourself, but like this is what we need. And then you let the players be the players, and they can guide everything and move everything around. And that's exactly what Pat has, what Andy Reid did for Pat. So I say I'm a guy that believe that the coaches like Andy Reid. In my opinion, Andy Reid is a way different coach than Bill Belichick. Mm-hmm. Bill Belichick's a coach. If he's winning, everybody's happy on the team because, like, it's hard work. Like, it's grinding. It's, you know, you're doing stuff that you don't want to do. Like, hey, hats off in the meeting. Hey, tuck it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Andy Reid's a guy like, let's go win football games. So, like, they can face a little bit of adversity and get through it because they're all doing it together. Man, we got life good. We got life good right
because
now,
everyone
Bubba.
knows they're going to have cheeseburgers after. cheeseburgers. You know, it's funny. Can I one more about Andy Reid a little bit there too? Is the fact that when he was the head coach of the Phillies, he's only been with 2 teams as a head coach, and that was with the Philadelphia Eagles, and he had unbelievable success, but he lost Super Bowls. Yeah. He sometimes had teams that people thought were Super Bowl contenders, and maybe they stalled out in somewhere in the playoffs, and he was always pegged as a guy that couldn't get the job done. Why is he getting the job done now with the Chiefs and not the Eagles?
Oh man, I know too much to answer that question. I can't. Hey,
exclusive.
Don't do me like that.
Sorry.
Nah.
I'm just asking you because.
No. It's about. I'm gonna answer this the right way. It's about. It's about your environment always, and it's about learning from experiences. Andy Reid came into the NFL young coaching for the Philadelphia Eagles and did extremely well for them. And his crutch was not winning Super Bowls. Okay, so now you already been the best. You've been at the top. So all Andy Reid is thinking about is winning Super Bowls. So now he's with a Kansas City Chiefs team, and like his only crutch is winning Super Bowls. So all the regular season stuff, blah blah blah, playoff, blah blah blah. Winning Super Bowls. That's the only thing that's on his mind is winning Super Bowls because he's done everything he could for Philadelphia, got them to multiple NFC championships. But now the thing is winning Super Bowls, and now he has the opportunity for everybody saying that he couldn't win Super Bowls to be the only coach to ever do what he does. That's just legendary. It's just the ebbs and flow of life.
Fair. Hey, it's amazing because the situations have been there to be great with the Eagles, and he was very, very good. I just don't know if he was great, but I mean, he's certainly in the great category right now. Your point number 3, kind of the same thing, winning the turnover ratio. That's big for you.
Yeah, I mean, Bubba, you know, like football's a game of momentum. Momentum. You want momentum on your side, and when you win, and nothing creates more momentum than taking the ball from a team. When you take the ball from a team, that's momentum. And like I'm saying, whoever wins the turnover ratio will win this game.
Well, I don't know what the league-wide percentage is for this season. I know I've heard types like Marv Levy say that it's generally 75% of the games overall you will win if you win the turnover ratio. Interesting statistic about this year's postseason is that the Kansas City Chiefs are the only team in the entire playoffs who have won a game not winning the turnover battle. That was against the Bills. Every other playoff game this season, the team that had the better was plus and not in the minus won the game. But that, again, to show how great they are.
And that's why my 2 key guys in the beginning was Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid. If those 2 people are on sync, your star quarterback and your star coach are on sync like that, and the guy that calls the plays, if anybody can beat the something that's not supposed to be beaten, it's those guys.
Your X factor for the Chiefs, Chris Jones.
Woo!
no doubt he's a force.
Mm-hmm.
Why Chris Jones? How can he make a difference in this football game?
Chris Jones is somebody that can humble greatness. Like, a lot of people can hit Saquon, and Saquon going to get up and be like, man, you can't do that. But if a Chris Jones hits Saquon, he not going to get up and pop it like that, because he has a certain level of respect of Chris Jones' greatness. So Chris Jones can take Saquon's superpowers if he make a couple big plays on Saquon and get everybody feeding onto them and be like, man, he's soft. I told you he was soft, and get all of his guys, give that energy to his guys on Saquon. And that's why I love Chris Jones, because he's one of those players, when you're a star and you're a big dog star, and like Philadelphia's been winning games because of that running game, it's your job to show everybody what it looks like being the absolute best football player on defense.
He's one of these guys that we talk about when we talk about great defensive players. Mm-hmm. It's like he's got a knack for the moment.
Yes.
Like when it's 2 minutes left, 3rd down and 5, and then he's got the sack.
Yes.
Or maybe you didn't call his name for the entire game, and he's scooping a score.
Yes.
As a defensive guy, I'm sure you must admire players like that
yes.
just have a feel for the moment.
Look, people think it's like it's who the coaches trust. Like, a lot of teams just try to play football, but like, as you see, like for the Hamilton Tiger Cats from 2013 to 2021, we want our best players getting one-on-ones with whoever. That's what you want to do. And that's the same thing that Chris Jones does. He can play the 3-tech. He can play defensive tackle. He can play defensive end. Wherever they think he can go win a one-on-one and make a play, they let him do it. And that's why he makes plays. Because they're like, I don't care who's blocking them. I just want one person blocking them, you know what I mean? And we got our money on him, and that's what happens with the great players. They just find ways to always win their one-on-ones, because football is just about beating the guy in front of you at the end of the day.
Take me to the other side in this situation.
Yeah.
And I'll use you as an example, because I can say I'm not blowing you up, but I mean, you had your day, and your day of domination in terms of playing and affecting games on defense. When you're a guy like Chris Jones, or anyone for the matter, or even the Philadelphia defensive line, are there times that you look at a quarterback and it's like, I've got him before I even got him? Like, you see, like, is that something, or are we just making too much of that sometimes?
No, it's real, because it's like going into a football game as a superstar, you know that you're being talked about all week, because it's just how it is. It's like, yo, we need to make sure we know where this guy is on the field all the time. So you go out there and you egg it on. Your daddy said if I get free, he gonna beat you. Like, you know what I mean? It's because because you're the star player, you get to make fun. Like, but the game is still the game. Like, you have to find a way to stop the star players, and the star players know that. But looking in a quarterback's eye in the beginning of the game and be like, it's about to be all day. I know y'all plan to stop me, and look, I'm still here. Your job, everybody's job on the offense was make sure I don't make plays, and I'm still making plays. So when the guy that's not supposed to make plays is making plays, the quarterback's like, oh, man.
Here he is again.
I thought we had this blocked up.
Here he is again, right? And I always think that's such an interesting dynamic of the game, and playing the game at a much lower level, obviously, than I do. That when
the game's the game, Bubba, you know that.
It is. And you peek up sometime and you look at the quarterback, and he's scanning the line and scanning the line, and then sometimes it's like, I think he's afraid.
Yeah.
I think he's scared.
And you can see it, man. Like I said, sharks, we smell it. I smell it. You always know what's going on around you.
Well, here we go. Your final pick of the season. I'm making no bones about it. I have to respect the Chiefs. I will give Chiefs my check mark to win the Super Bowl. If the Bills can't win it, I guess I know some people would say, Bubs, you can't go that way because you just have to hate the Chiefs. I can't. I got to respect them.
I feel you want the best team to be the best team that beat the Buffalo, huh?
I got to respect them.
Okay, I feel that. And you have to. And I'm like, I would never bet against the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, the opportunity to do something that nobody's ever done. Taylor Swift being on the Chiefs, in the Chiefs side. But one thing about Philadelphia, y'all, it's Philly, baby. And Philly is for the takers, Bubba. Philly is going to take this one. Philly's going to start off fast, and they're going to get a big league. Taylor Swift is going to be cheering for Philadelphia secretly because growing up, Taylor Swift was the biggest Philadelphia Eagles fans, ladies. What? Don't forget, Taylor Swift is the biggest Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know if it altered, but growing up, she's from Pennsylvania somewhere. She always said she was a Philadelphia Eagles fan. So do your homework on that. And I just think it's time, yo. Like history is hard because history is hard. When somebody does something like legendary, it's hard, Bubba. And 3 Super Bowls in a row. Woo! That is legendary. And the odds of that happening, how long has football been around, Bubba?
Well, the Super Bowl's been going back to 66.
Okay. Huh? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm just one of those guys where even though I'm from right side outside of Philadelphia, we're going to win this game because that's where I'm from. And y'all about to see real toughness, you know. Life in life, yo, everybody think you get what you know what I mean? Nah, you got to take stuff sometimes. And Kansas City is the team that needs to get something taken from them, and that's that Super Bowl. And I feel like with Saquon, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, they have enough star power in this game to keep everybody up and motivated. And what I'm extremely excited to watch is this Philadelphia Eagles defense against Kansas City. I think the Philadelphia Eagles have the best defense in the NFL. So going against this Kansas City team, they want to show that. Because there was a lot of talk about Philadelphia's defense, like, oh, that's the thing that's holding Philadelphia back. No, that's the thing that's about to win these boys a Super Bowl is that Philadelphia defense. So, Bubba, I like to tell all the people to get my 10th win, you know what I mean? Since I've been on my Big Dog Bubba's show, I'm going with the home team, the Philadelphia, me and Taylor Swift favorite team, Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow, I did not expect you. I know that in your heart, and hey, it's hard not to pick the team where you come from and you grew up watching. Yeah, I know you have the love for Andy Reid and all that. I thought you would side with the Chiefs. I'm actually very surprised. So this is going to be real fun. It's going to be a real good game. Will it be a high-scoring or low-scoring game?
Points are going to be on the board, but like it's going to be points on. If there's not points on the board, Philadelphia lost. But it's going to be points on the board. The way I see this game happening, the way that this game should be won by Eagles is Eagles start off fast. They get to like a 21-3, 21-7 lead early, and then they try to and then the Chiefs come back and just keep fighting, but the Chiefs just can't come back this time.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Shocked. Now, to take it to the next level, folks, I have enjoyed, I will say this, I have loved these Friday segments with you, Simoni, talking football on a fun basis, on a technical basis, coaching basis, your experience sort of side of things too. First of all, I really appreciate it. It's been great. I know we're getting great response as well too. The socials have been going mad. But there's also something else going on that if you want to enjoy the presence of this man,
come on now.
What's going on Sunday? Sunday's there's a party going on.
Come on, Bubba. You know we just can't come on CACH every Friday, take everybody through the Super Bowl and not have a party for everybody watching the show? Yep. It don't even make sense. We got the Simoni Lawrence Super Bowl birthday bash, yo. My birthdays, I start off the month February 1st, 2-1, the reason I'm number 21. You know, we're going to our great friends at Gown and Gavel and do something legendary. The Buffalo fans are going to love that. We got tables. I don't know if people going to jump through the tables. Be careful because the tables are for games, but I know we're going to have some Buffalo fans doing some crazy stuff, you know, pregame, and we're going to have a live DJ. We're going to just have a bunch of fun. We're going to have 150-inch televisions outside.
Outdoors.
We got indoor and outdoor. Outside. We're going to have them outside. Like, it's going to be, we got fire pits. We got heat lamps. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where, bro, we just want everybody to come together in the city. Like, that's like my thing. Like, you know, I just want everybody to always come together and like have the opportunity to experience everybody and not be stuck in a bubble. And I feel like whenever I do things, like you get people from different crowds, different ages, and everybody just comes together. And the thing that I always like to set my fun around is raising money for the kids in Hamilton, I'm on the board of Food for Kids, and, we have the opportunity to, I think it's now at like 2,200 kids we feed every single weekend. And, that's a tough task. And, everybody at Food for Kids does a great job doing it. And, I'm happy to be a part of it. So anytime I get an opportunity to raise money for the kids right here in Hamilton, I'm going to do it. So, some of the proceeds go right to Food for Kids.
Well done. Yeah. And I know it will be a lot of fun there.
Bubba, you better be there, bro. I got VIP access for you. If you need security, we got, I treat the celebs like the celebs,
but the celeb is soft. He is
don't say it, Bubba. Bubba, don't say it, Bubba.
I am
don't
so
say it, Bubba.
soft. Find me a nice chair indoors, please.
Chill out.
You can entertain. I am good
got that
indoors.
for you, bro. What you mean?
Inside. I know I'm Canadian, but I'm soft. So soft when it comes to winter. Jeez.
It's going to be an amazing time. It's going to be an amazing time. I hope, we got fireworks after the halftime show, boom, boom, Bubba.
Everything that you have 21 affixed to, I know is going to be a big deal with all kinds of stuff going on, and I know the people will be there. So, folks, you know what to do Sunday?
Yeah.
If you're don't watch the game alone. Get out there and support the Food for Kids and Simoni's big party.
Yeah, so all you guys got to do, you can go to Gallon and Gavel. They have the link, or just go to my Instagram, and it's Simoni_Lawrence21, and just go to the link in my bio, click. Hopefully we're not sold out, but even if we sold out, I know the Fire Chiefs, I know we good. Sorry, I'm just joking.
I was going to say, I don't know if we can do that.
I'm just joking, y'all. I'm just joking.
Hey, Sam, this has been great. Again, I know it'll be a great time. This has been a lot of fun, as I said earlier, having you here to talk some football with us. I know I'm sure you kind of miss it, especially when you get to the championship games.
It's fun, man.
But I know that you're kind of still living the game through things like this.
Yeah.
And to have you, or have the access to you to come and talk football, it's a pleasure for me. And as I said, from the people that are giving me the response, are like, more 21. So again, we appreciate you coming in.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all know I love everybody over here at CACH, and it's always good to talk sports with my dog Bubba. I appreciate you, big dog.
Eagles, Chiefs. And
I'm going on a 10-win season. This is just what it's going to be, y'all. 10 wins this playoff. Philadelphia shocks the world.
10-5, he could beat me. I ain't having it. That's your Sportsline Podcast for the day. And as you just seen and heard, talking sports is our thing. If you know of an athlete, team, or event to promote the Sportsline Podcast, you want to hear from you. Please hit that subscribe, thumbs up, 5-star button. And if you have something to say, we appreciate your comments always. A reminder, if it's news, sports, or what's trending now, our podcast network have you covered. For the fine folks that produce the Sportsline Podcast, I always appreciate you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.